Hi, thanks for joining us today as we go through a game of the Big Crunch. In this video, we'll be using two expansions, the White Hole and Meteors. So let's get stuck into it. We've begun the game at a midway point with players having planets in front of them. It's my turn first, and I've placed down a planet and a second one too. On to Sam, my opponent. Sam's deciding what to place down. And looks like she's placed down a meteor for her first move and sent it over to me as her second move. Now, because it's a green meteor, it latches onto any planet which is green. I happen to have one planet in my system, so it's stuck onto this planet permanently, orbiting it forever. I cannot get rid of it, and at the end of the game, all meteors are worth -1 point. So Sam's now placing all the planets in the event horizon into the black hole. And now it's my turn to select a card to put into the event horizon. So I'm selecting the green planet because I happen to have a green planet in my hand. In this way, I've gotten rid of the planet, which will give me -1 point at the end of the game because of the meteor orbiting it. Right, so everyone's drawn their cards. Sam's go first. She's grown her system by 2 planets. Now over to me. Now I'm placing my green planet down, which I just said that I had. And a meteor. I cannot send the meteor over on the same turn, as it counts as an entire turn. Right, end of the round, I have the most mass again, putting one back into the center. So now we're drawing cards, and you don't draw for the meteors because they have no mass. So now it's my turn again, and I'm going to send a planet over to Sam to overload her system with mass. So my first move is placing it down into my system, and since I already have a meteor of the same color, it will attach onto the planet. I will now send the whole lot across to Sam, overloading her system and forcing all the planets into the event horizon. Now it's Sam's turn, and she's decided to play a white hole card. So it acts the opposite to a black hole. It pushes cards out from the center as opposed to drawing them in. For her second move, she's placed a planet down. Now, it's the end of the round, and so planets are being forced out from the event horizon. So Sam's done a very clever trick where she receives all 3 planets back to herself. However, since she's overloaded her system again with mass, more than 5, they all get pushed back into her hand. Okay, so now since a white hole has been placed, we prepare everything for play. We will discard the black hole card from the center and shuffle all the remaining cards inside. These will now be used as cards for play that will be pushed out from the center at the end of the round. So, before that happens, we first see who has the most amount of mass. That's me, so I get punished and I have a card of my choice fall back into my hand. Now we count and see who has the least amount of mass. This player receives a card from the white hole, so it's not necessarily good all the time. In this case, Sam has received a meteor. It's important to time your use of the white hole. In Sam's case, she has managed to obtain 3 blue planets, 1 blue meteor, and now receives cards from the center because of her smaller solar system mass. So Sam's grown her system, and now it's back over to me. I've grown it, and now I only require 1 more planet and 1 star to complete the game. So, end of the round, first everything in the event horizon gets pushed out. Sam receives the green meteor. And now we count up mass. I have the most mass, so I have to place one card into my hand. Now finally, we count up mass and see who has the least. In this scenario, both Sam and I have the least amount of mass, so we both receive a card from the white hole. So, back over to me. Drawing cards again. In order to keep your card count high every time you receive the bonus meteor, it's good to have lots of spare planets. For example, Sam happens to have 2 red planets, increasing her card count. I've just received a black hole from the drawn cards, so I'm thinking about using it. I see that Sam doesn't have a green planet in her solar system, and so it would be a unique planet if she was to receive it from the white hole. But now that I've placed a black hole card, the green planet will fall into the black hole and she will lose the opportunity of receiving this unique card. I'm going to hand the mic over to Sam now to commentate the rest of this game. Take it away, Sam.
Thanks, Alec. Hi guys. So what I'm going to do now is a good old-fashioned switcheroo. One of the many move options you have in your turn is to swap a card in your solar system for one in the event horizon. These cards have to have the exact same amount of mass, so you can trade in multiple cards to do this, however you can only receive one card from the event horizon in return. I've chosen to swap my mass to red planet for that mass to green planet, since that's a colour I don't currently have in either of my solar system or my hand cards. And since I also have a green meteor in my solar system, bringing in the green planet means that meteor will immediately latch onto it. And for my second move, as Alec mentioned earlier, I put an extra card of a colour I already have, as I can see I'm heavier than him and I'll be losing a card to the black hole. So we're counting up our cards. Not really sure why Alec put a card in. I think he might have been half asleep. I did have more. Anyway, we're going to move on. I'm sure I can still beat him. But we're just drawing cards from the deck now. And as I do that, Alec is showing the nice little handy reference cards we have. So this shows all the colours of the planets and meteors that we have, the white and black holes and the star. On the other side is your typical game layout with your solar system, event horizon space, and where everything goes. There's 8 of these little reference cards in the game box, so that's one for everyone, and they're super handy for helping new players along, a quick reminder for past players, and extra strategy for those players out there who reckon they can count cards. So boom, there we go. I've got a star in my solar system. So it looks like I've only got the purple one to go. I think Alec has caught on here, so what he's going to do is not let me potentially win next turn. So he's going to send his red planet, mass of 3, overloading my solar system and making me lose all my red planets. And for his second move, he places down a red planet. So at the end of the round, they all go in the center from the event horizon, and then we count our cards again. When you count your cards during the game, the meteors are a mass of 0, so you don't count these. They only have a negative score at the end of the game, so that's after the first player has completed their solar system. So as I had the most amount of mass, I lost one of my planets. Unfortunately, I am getting further and further away from completing my solar system, and it looks like Alec only needs his star and the blue planet. So this was a very strategic move from Alec. He's done this one of 3 reasons. He is missing a blue planet in his solar system, so he doesn't want to leave that meteor there, because once he puts a blue one in, that's going to mean negative points at the end of the game. If I suddenly place a white hole down to get my blue planet back, that meteor will attach and I'll have negative points. Or if I place a blue planet in my solar system, because I don't have one anymore, it's going to be negative points. And that's exactly what's happened here because I've placed a blue planet back in my solar system. And once again, I was too heavy, so I had to sacrifice a planet, but that's okay because I had that spare orange one. So dealing out hopefully for the last time, because I'm sure I'll beat him soon. At least I hope to, because he's very close to finishing his solar system, just like me. I only need 2 to complete it. And there's the first one. Can she do it? Yes, 2. Alrighty, so I have finished my solar system, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to win. So we first have to count everything up. Playing with both the expansions is a great way to add suspense and complexity and obviously a longer runtime to the game, and we recommend you use expansions for games with more than 6 players. So it looks like Alec has finished with a total of 12, so let's see if I can beat that. So I have 3, 6, 8, and I have to remember to count for these meteors. 12, 15, let's just put these over here, get rid of that, 18, 20. I have +1 because I finished first, but I have -3 because I have 3 meteors, so that also includes the bonus meteor. So really I have 18, and 18 is much better than 12 obviously, so I've thrashed him. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoy our game and play for yourself. See you on Kickstarter.